Okay, so I was able to figure out what was going on. It took me a little while to actually figure it out, but all it was I wasn't pressing the button hard enough in order for it to turn on. So it turns on now. I pretty much dismantled the whole thing, trying to figure out what was going on, and all it was user error. So it's all working, everything's good. Defib pacer, ECG, keypad, NMBP, CO2, SPO2, IVP, temp, and the only thing missing is the printer, which is that gaping hole right there. So all I need to do now is put this back together, and that is actually a lot more simple process than taking the whole thing apart. So get that ribbon cable back up there. So what I want to do, and we'll just pull the battery out right now, but your longer screws are going to go in the tops and the sides. So these 2-inch screws are going at the 4 spaces in the top and the 2 spaces in the sides. One next to the multifunction and the other next to the printer. The other 4 go into the 4 divots in the bottom. I also found, thankfully, while I was taking the whole thing apart, this power connector right here was extremely loose. So unfortunately, in order to get to that, you have to take the whole thing apart, or all the insides, the paste board, the ECG board, the capacitor. Oh, speaking of the capacitor, in the manual it says you have to discharge the capacitor. Some may think, oh, okay, why would you have to do that? Or others would be like, well, duh. Well, the capacitor, I don't have one right here with me, but it holds several thousand volts. I mean, you're pumping out 200 joules, which I don't have my spreadsheet right now, but it was like 1800 volts with like 30 amps, which that's a lot. I mean, it will probably kill you if you were to get hit by it. So they came up with a little solution in order to drain the capacitor, which is actually on the pacemaker board. You'd have to look at the thing, but there's 4, what's called vias, V-I-A-S, and it's the 2nd and the 4th via. And in order to do that, you have to have a resistor. And the way I did it was I just cut up some, they were pretty good leads, but I cut up some nice fluke leads and soldered them on the sides of a resistor, and that is what I use. And it's 10 to 20 seconds, and I will also actually check it to see if it actually has discharged. So this is the capacitor right here. It is a 5K 25 watt resistor. So it's not too much, not too fancy. Just soldered one end on the other and one also, and it's just like a little D&M almost. So that's that. Alright, so when it comes to the printer, all my screws are still left in here. 4 screws. So I know I don't have any protection on me, but it goes both white. So the white with the other colors goes on that side, and no white, just straight red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and black go on the smaller side, just like that. I'm just going to slide it in, open up the door, and the 2 screws that are in the bottom there, we're just going to open up slightly and we're able to get in, so close up the gap there. And the same way like that. So, and don't forget the 2 screws on the back side also. So that and that. Alright, so this won't matter for 99% of the people that do these, but this is, like I said before, this is our mount that we put in the helicopters. And actually these go in the MICUs also. So for us, it's just 2 auxiliary spaces up where the battery catches and 2 auxiliary spaces underneath the dock connector. And that's how we use to connect this part. And it is a steel part, and it's a very robust piece. Now, that being said, not all of it is very robust, because we have these 2 connectors right there, and those frequently will break. Actually, this one unit did have one that was broken, so it doesn't take much to replace them. But it's kind of a pain, because it takes, I have a couple of them handy right now, but it takes a little while in order to replace those. So, but yeah, so this is where we are literally almost done. All we'd have to do now is to put the handle on the top and test the unit. And I have asked Zoll, I mean, if you open it up, do you actually have to test the whole thing? Yes is their answer. So I've had some companies say, no, you don't have to test the whole thing, like our vents. You don't have to test the whole entire thing. You have to do whatever you replace, they have a certain guide to follow by. Alright, paper goes in with the fold on the bottom. As such, pull it out, it's almost empty. The handle, screws are still in there. Handle goes on the top. Lock it down. Lock it down. Lock it down. And lock it down. Alright, so these pieces right here also go in with little fillings, and crossing your fingers, everything goes right, it should turn on. I was hoping it was. So, got a brand new LCD screen, got a brand new faceplate, everything passed, self-test passed, we're ready to test. Thank you guys.